Hi everyone, I'm Todd Sepulveda, the editor of Prepper Website and the host of the Prepper Website podcast. Hey, I'd like to share with you a preparedness strategy to help you and your family be better prepared. Now, this is something that I haven't really heard in the preparedness community. I think it's something that is very beneficial, and so I can't wait to share it with you. Now, if you just give me just a few minutes, I need to share with you my story because it leads up to it, and it's my experience and where I'm coming from. So I started Prepper Website in September of 2011 and started posting articles, started reading a lot of great articles, and it was going great. And then someone contacted me. It was Tess Pennington from ReadyNutrition.com. She was advertising her Prepper cookbook and asked if she could advertise on my site. And I was kind of blown away. I wasn't expecting something like that. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know, like, okay, how much do I charge? And so there was some back and forth. And finally, she did. And I couldn't believe it. I remember the first time I received the funds from that advertisement. I'm like, wow, I am getting paid to do something, $50 a month. I'm getting paid $50 a month to do something that I love, something that I would normally already be doing, but I'm getting paid for it. And then it wasn't very long after that people started contacting me and saying, hey Todd, we'd like to advertise on your site. And it just kind of spiraled from there. And now I earn income from advertisements. I earn income from affiliate sales, people that I believe in, and then Amazon sells, and then also I get money from like Google AdSense and stuff like that. But that money, I realized, I was thinking back because, one of the things that I hear from people, I get emails all the time, and I see people comment on articles and on Facebook and social media. It's like, I can't afford to prep. I want to prep. I know that I need to, have, food storage for my family. I know I need to have water. I need to have all this kind of stuff, but I just can't afford it. At the end of the month, I'm paying off my bills. I'm barely making it. And I totally understand, because if it wasn't for the money that I would have been making from Prepper Website, I don't know if I would have been able to prep as much as I have. I've got a family. I got big boys. We eat. We got all kinds. I live in suburbia Houston, right? And so there's all these things that we're doing, but I don't know if I would have been able to give as much money to my preparedness. I would have tried. I would have made an effort. I would have put money towards food storage and all that because I believe in it. But I don't know if I would have been as better prepared. And then it hit me like just like a ton of bricks, right? The reason I was able to prepare was because of the money that I got from Prepper Website. And so it was this business that I love to do. It was this small, not even a small business, it was a micro business that I love to do. And then I was earning money, and that money I was turning around, and I was, of course, I was adding it back into the website and all the stuff that I was able to do there. But then at the same time, I was able to buy prep supplies. And here's the thing, this is the strategy for you as well. You can do this too. It might not be online. It definitely might not be a product that you make, but you might have a service that you can offer. Something that you love to do that can bring in extra money for your family. So think about it. What would just $50 extra a month? I mean, you can buy some canned foods with $50 extra a month. What if it was $100 a month and you were able to add that to your preparedness? Or let's say you were able to pay down debt so you didn't have the stress of debt coming down on you all the time and weighing down on you. And so then you pay off that debt, and then you're able to move into, building up your food storage and all that kind of stuff, where you're doing it both at the same time. It doesn't matter how you want to do it, but what would you do with $50 extra, $100 extra? It's not hard to do, and you can do it with something that you love. So let me give you some ideas. What if you, and again, it doesn't have to be online, but let's just say, you like to do stuff online. You like social media. You like engaging. You like all that. Maybe, and you like preparedness, or maybe it is something else you like. I worked with a lady who liked crocheting, and she was always on crocheting websites and crocheting, on Pinterest and following people that, in the niche of crocheting. What if you had a site about crocheting? That is a very targeted niche, and there's a lot of people that do that. And you could do that and get out there. And if you are someone that can get out on social media and you have your contacts and you build that up, who knows what could come of that? And again, maybe it's not online. But maybe you like writing, and maybe like, Todd, I don't want to do anything with a website, but you love writing and you have ideas. You read something, you're like, you know what, I can make that better, and you write something great. There are places online that will buy articles from you, right? Sometimes, depending on how good they are, sometimes anywhere from 20 to 30, even more, depending on how great they are. And so you can make money just by writing an article if you had a little bit of time just to knock out an article. And again, it's something that you love. And when we talk about something that we love, it's easy to flow out. But let's just get away from online, right? Let's just say there's something else that you love to do, like jewelry making. My wife makes jewelry, and she makes it, and then she takes pictures and she sends it out to her friends, and people will come, and they come over to the house, and she lays it out on the table and they buy it. And she's been able, one Christmas, she's like, this is my gift to you, Todd. I am going to just buy all the Christmas presents for everybody off of the money that I make from jewelry. And I was like, whoa, that's great, because all the money that I was setting aside for Christmas, doesn't need to be spent there. I could use that for something else. Now, what a blessing that was. And she's done that on multiple things. She's done stuff like candles, right? So you get the candles, and there was this angel gift wrapping paper. And she would cut out the angels and then glue them to the side of the candles, and then she would put some beads around, and it was a really great thing. And she used these as gifts, and people were like, can you make me one? I'd like to give that as a gift as well. I'm like, she's selling these things. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a candle with some wrapping paper cut out and pasted on there. It was so awesome, right? And so she loved to do that, and she would sit there and do that. And Pinterest, she's on Pinterest all the time, making things, and people are like, just recently, for instance, she made this thing right here, and people are like, can you make me one? I'll pay you for it. So it's stuff that you love to do. Okay, but let's just say there's nothing really that I love to do. There is something that you love to do. You just need to find it. But let's just say making money is, you're fired up about making money and helping your family get better prepared. Because you know that this world is fragile, you know that things are crazy, and you're like, man, I know that I need to get better prepared. So let's say you own a truck, right? And so you go to a couple of apartment complexes, and you meet the manager, and you say, look, I would like on the weekends, if you know of anybody who's moving and they need an apartment mover, or they need somebody with a truck, I'm willing to offer my services. And so you leave them your information, and then you come in and check in with them every once in a while. And that's, that would be a great little money-making thing on the weekend that you could do. Let's say you have a truck and you have a trailer. One of the things when we were younger, my wife and I were renting a house, and the backyard was just junky. And we had some dogs, and we didn't want them back there in the backyard running around in that junk. So we looked up in the green sheet, and we found somebody who removed trash. And so I contacted him. He came over, he gave me a quote, and I didn't have a truck, I didn't have a trailer, I didn't have that. So I had a small car. So I'm like, sure, I'll pay you to remove this trash from my house. It was more than the city would have taken. And so he comes and he brings his trailer, and he brings two guys. So he doesn't even do any of the moving. He brings two guys that he has hired for a few hours, and they load up everything in this trailer. And there's some things that he's like, you know what, put this in the back of my truck. I want to keep that. I'm like, you can keep it. You just get it out of here, right? I'm giving him money, and then he's taking some of the stuff and using it for later on. But anyway, he just stood around and told people what to do, told these two guys what to do. And then they went to the dump, and he paid the fee. So whatever he put that amount of money into the charge that he charged me, and the amount of money that he knew that he was going to charge these guys for doing that. And he made money for just sitting around and directing people what to do and driving his truck, because he had a truck and because he had a trailer. Now, that might be something that you're willing to do. What if you like to be a little bit more physical? What if you have some access to woods and you're able to, cut some firewood? And, over here in the suburbs of Houston, one of the things when it starts getting cold, you'll see people back up their trucks and they put stacks of wood, probably about this high, and they sell them for anywhere between $10 to $20. And so when things start getting cold, people want to, they want to use their fireplaces. They want to go and, set up their fire pit in the backyard. And so they do that. And these guys are selling it. So they back up, they put out some stacks of wood. They start a little fire just to kind of get people's attention. And they're selling wood. Selling wood that they have there. And people are willingly stopping and buying that, because the other option is to stop at the little convenience store and you get like 3 pieces of wood for $6. And like, no, I'm going to get a lot more. I'm going to go through these 3 pieces of wood in an hour. I'd like to have a little bit more. And so it's definitely worth it. So what if you did that? Or what if you did that wood cutting and then you would go out, because you know there's people out in the rural settings who have wood stoves, but they don't have time to cut a cord of wood, and you're willing to do that, and you're able to provide wood for them, and they're willing to pay you. You just got to move it. And again, maybe you just you hire someone to actually do the moving for you, but you've got the wood, you got the trailer, you got the stuff to be able to do that. Guys, there's so many things that you can do out there to earn money. And here's the deal. Think about why, because you're going to say, the biggest problem with this is going to be, Todd, I don't have time. I have a full-time job. Let me tell you something. I have a full-time job. I have a full-time job. I'm a bivocational minister. I do Prepper website and I do the podcast. Here's the thing. You have to give up. You have to sacrifice a little bit. So when I come home, I don't sit down in front of the television and watch television. And part of it is because I don't want to do it because there's just junk on the television. But the other side of that is, what do I gain from that other than just a little bit of entertainment? And I think about all the time that I've wasted playing games online. I think about all the time that I've wasted watching TV online. There was a little bit of information there, a little bit of entertainment. But what does it really do to better my life and better the life of my family? Nothing. I just sit down and veg out. And I understand sometimes you need that. But let me tell you why you need that. You need that because you're not excited about something else. So I've often talked about this on the podcast, is I got to be careful when I do the podcast, because I do it late at night. I got to be careful how late I go, because I get so pumped, right? I do the podcast, I do the editing, and then I come on, I'm like on this high. And if I do it really late, and sometimes it has happened to me where I'm uploading it around 10:45, 11 o'clock at night, and then I go to bed, it's kind of like I'm wide-eyed because I'm just pumped, because I was off of such a high of doing the podcast because I love doing it. So I got to be careful. I need to start a little bit earlier so I'm not going to bed so late. But that's the same idea. If you came home and you had something that made you excited, man, I'm going to make this jewelry because I know that I'm going to be showing it off at a bazaar. I'm going to be showing it off online to my friends. I'm going to be putting it up for people to buy. Or I'm so pumped because I got this, this connection with someone who, they need some jobs done for whatever, And that gets you going, and that gives you that extra energy. So think about times when you were, for instance, you were going on a field trip, right? You were a kid and you were going on a field trip and you were so excited to go on the field trip, you couldn't go to sleep because you knew that you had that field trip the next day. It's the same kind of thing that happens. All of a sudden you start getting this energy and you start getting excited and you start getting ready to do it. And I'm telling you, everybody can do it. Everybody has something that they're good at. You just need to find the way, or what it is. You need to find the way to do it. That's it. And there might be things that you're good at and people out there are doing already, but you can do it better. And people will pay you. We're in a time and age right now where people will pay for convenience. I can go out and wash my car, and I can do a really good job of that. I did it all when I was in high school. I always had a nice clean car, but there are some times now where it's more convenient if I take it to a car wash, because they can get it done faster and I don't have to get all wet and I don't have to come inside and take a shower, and I could be working on something while they're doing that. So think about all the things that people are just like willing to pay for because they need a little bit of time. So Todd, why are you saying all this? Okay, you're giving me some ideas, maybe, possibly, but what? Here's the thing. I've recently written an ebook. It's the first time that I've ever done anything like this to kind of put out there and sell to the preparedness community, or to sell to anybody who's interested. I've done little ebooks and things like that before, but nothing like this. And the ebook is called The Preparedness Community's Guide to a Microbiz and Increasing Your Finances, right? And so the book, it's a small read. You'll get it done in 20 to 30 minutes. I put some information in there. Some of the tips and tricks and things that I thought about that has worked for me. And then just, my dad has always been a small business owner, and things that I've learned from him throughout the years. And at the end of the book, I have a couple of things that might be of interest to you. I have 56 different jobs that you could use as a micro business. I also have a worksheet that you can go back there and kind of start helping you to narrow down what you might be good at, what other people might see in you that you can get out there and do as an online business. But the thing is that the ebook is not the big draw. There's a lot of information there, and I am proud of it. The big draw is that I've created the Prepper website forums. Now, the Prepper website forums is a place where you could come and you can share your advice, your ideas, resources, and all those types of things around this micro biz. Because I think this is the thing that's holding people back from being able to prepare, is having the funds to do it. So if I can connect people, and that's what I've done through Prepper website. Prepper website and the podcast is provide resources where people can get out there and be better prepared. And if I can do this and help other people be prepared, man, I know that I'm fulfilling my mission and what I'm supposed to be doing. So I created the Prepper website. It is a private, or Prepper website forums. It is a private forum that you buy into, to where you're not, there's not just anybody in there. And so the people that are in there are wanting to build a micro business, are wanting to get better prepared, are wanting to have some tips and tricks on their micro biz. So let me give you an idea of how this might work. I'm going to go back to the apartment truck mover person, right? So let's say here in Houston, someone gets on the forums and say, hey guys, my micro biz is apartment movers. I'm a one-man show with my truck, and I make money this way, and this is one of the things that I found. So let's say there's somebody else in another part of the country, let's say in California, and say, hey, you know what? I do the same thing, and I found that this is, this really works. When you do this, people are more likely to buy. And these two people are connected and they're sharing ideas, right? And so you think about how that can work, or people are out there and you're like, hey, I have a website, and it's not necessarily a preparedness website. I think preparedness websites are good and important, and we need them all the time, because they're closing. Prepper websites are closing down all over the place, and then they're coming, and then others are starting. And so there's always that cycle. So I always think that's important. But you might have the desire to start a website in a specific niche, and then you can share some ideas, and other people that have websites can chime in as well and help you with it, with whatever. He's like, hey, I need a plugin for this, or hey, how have you handled this? And then share those ideas out there. So I decided to do this and make it as affordable as possible, because I know that if you're like, hey, I need some money to prep, I realize that this is, I want to make it easy for people to buy into, but I do want to make it a thing where you buy into because you feel a little bit more connection there. So here it is. The ebook and access to the forums is $6.49. People are like telling me that is too low, Todd, don't do that. You need to make it higher. But no, I want people to be better prepared. And so the ebook and the forum, access to the forums, is $6.49. Guys, that is not a monthly fee. That is not a yearly subscription. That is a one-time fee that you have access to the forums forever. Now, I also thought, you know what, there might be people out there who have websites who want a little bit of traffic pushed to their website, whatever it might be. So I know that Prepper website does a great job of getting information out there and connecting people. So I do have a second option. You can get for $14.95. You can get the ebook, you can get the forum, and you get a link to a website or a URL that you want to link to, right? And so there's ways, and I'll once you purchase that, you get an email from me, and then we set that up. And you don't have to do it right away, but that's an option for you if you want to do that. And this is very hard for me to do because I hate doing the salesy thing, right? But it's something that you got to do when you have, when you're putting a product out there or a service. The last thing is this. Throughout the years, people have asked me, Todd, do you have a donation button? We'd like to. We're very grateful for what you've done in Prepper Website and the Prepper Website podcast, we like to donate money to you and just to say thank you. And I don't have a donation button. I've never done that. Or they say, Todd, do you have a Patreon? I've never done that. And I don't know if I ever will. I'm never going to say never because you shouldn't really do that. But I don't foresee myself doing that anytime soon. But for those who just appreciate what Prepper Website has meant to them and the podcast has meant to them, there is a higher price point. There's a $50 buy-in that you can do. And so with that one, you get the ebook, access to the forums, you get the link, and then when you get into the forums, you get a special signature graphic that says Forum Founder. And so whenever you reply to anybody or you write a post or a topic or whatever, it always says that you were a forum founder. And guys, I really do appreciate that because that is one that is just, you're just doing that extra, and it really means a lot. It means a lot to me, anybody who buys into it. But nevertheless, you know, that is one that you don't have to do, but people are doing that. So that's where we are. And I want you to seriously consider doing this because this is the way. You know, I've seen articles all over, preparedness, right? And here's the thing, because people know, because webmasters, preparedness websites know that people struggle out there. One of the things that we've done is we'll write articles like how to prepare at the dollar store, how to have a prep strategy from the dollar store, how to prep, free, how to, things that you can do for free in preparedness. And all those things are good. I'm not disparaging the dollar store at all. I have gone to the dollar store and purchased things. I have even read articles on the podcast like those because I know that those are important. But the fact is that preparedness costs money. We talk about skills all the time. Skills are very important. Again, I'm not saying that skills are not important. We need to have skills. But at the same time, it does cost money to prepare. It does cost money to have food storage. It does cost money to have, water storage and water purifiers and filters. It does cost money to have gear. When you need that gear, you don't want to buy junk and have it fail on you. You want quality gear. And all of that costs money. So that's why, this is coming up. I've realized that this is a key to help other people get prepared. That you're able to get out there and you start a micro biz on something that you love, something that you care about, and that it brings in money. People will, if you have a product out there that people want, a service that people want, they will pay you for it. And you'll be able to take that money and pay down debt and better prepare your family. That's what you want to do. So guys, a lot of information there, and I hope you get excited as I've gotten excited because I know that this is the way that people can help their families. So I'm going to link to the place on the Prepper Website podcast where you can go get a little bit more information. Or if you just want to go straight there, you can go to microbiz.biz, and that will forward you to the page on the Prepper Website podcast where you can go and read a little bit more and download, or buy the ebook and the forums. And then it's all it just all works together, and then you get into the forums. Now, because the forums they're based on the microbiz, that's the main focus. But because it's Prepper Website forums, I've also included preparedness topics as well. So wilderness survival, food storage, water storage, all those types of forums and topics are in there, so we can talk about those things as well. And again, it's private. Not everybody can have this. You have to buy into the book to be able to get access to it. So that kind of leaves out the people that want to come in here and spam and cause problems and things like that. Everybody who is in there wants to be in there, and so I'm guarding that very carefully. So guys, anyway, thanks so much for watching. And again, go over to microbiz.biz or the Prepper Website podcast. It's on the front page. It'll link to the page that you need to go to. And I hope to see you on the forums. If you have any questions, leave me a comment or send me an email. I'll answer those as I can go, and to get you the information that you need. And while you're at it, if you find value in what we're doing with Prepper Website and the podcast and on this YouTube channel, if you would give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. God bless.